All right. Game just went final, and that's not really what I had in mind. I gotta be honest. That was a defensive struggle for the most part. Ohio State, they kind of got whatever they wanted offensively in the second half, but you're still talking about 24 points. I would have taken that all day. I would have taken that all day if you told me before the game started that we were going to hold Ohio State to 24. But unfortunately, the home team gets to 6. And there's no getting around it. There's no sugarcoating that. That is really, really bad. 6 points with the way this offense is played against anybody is a problem. So we got some stuff to talk about first, though. I want to talk to you guys about Sleeper back in 60 seconds. Before I go any further, I want to tell you a little bit about my friends over at Sleeper. If you're not using the Sleeper app this year for daily fantasy football, you are missing out. Take a look on the left side of your screen. Look at all the great stuff you can pick on over there. Let's put together an entry for this weekend. Here is mine. I've got Bijan Robinson scoring an anytime touchdown. Atlanta's offense is due for a breakout after last week's tremendous disappointment, scoring 0 points. I got Micah Parsons getting at least half a sack against the Cowboys. How is he not going to get a sack in that game? It's a revenge game for him. I got Rome Odunze with at least 59 receiving yards. He's feeling it right now. He's going up against the Raiders. Think he's going to do well. And I got DK Metcalf after 2 relatively slow games, getting at least 51 yards. Pittsburgh's having trouble running the ball. Time for DK to bust a big play or two. Get on over to Sleeper, put together your entry. You can get a $100 match on your first deposit with promo code SBN. Terms and conditions apply. Back to the video. All right, welcome back. But overall, I'm not too discouraged by this loss. It was a competitive game. It didn't really get over with until the fourth quarter. I can live with that. Again, I'm just really mystified how this defense, which had no Tacario Davis, by the way, guys, no Tacario Davis. And if you guys go see my pregame video, you'll see that I said, if we don't have Tacario Davis, I think we're getting blown off the field. It didn't happen. It didn't happen at all. Now, I think Ohio State had something to do with that. They were very conservative and very resistant to attacking our secondary until the second half. But still, if you had told me Tacario Davis was going to be out, I would have expected to give up around 50 points. So, I don't know. I can't be terribly discouraged by that. Obviously, you're disappointed in the offense, but even there, you have some things. The Huskies did a decent job moving the ball. They just couldn't finish drives. The red zone play calling, very suspect. A lot of people were complaining about that in my chat. Seemed like the red zone play calling was bad. Seemed like receivers weren't really getting open, though. I will say that's a big part of it. A lot of plays where Demon dropped back and looked, and there was nothing there. So I don't know about these routes. I don't know about these receivers either. I mean, Denzel Boston was basically a non-factor in this one. Roebuck was actually our best receiver. He played great, but couldn't sustain anything through the red zone. Had 3 really good opportunities to score in this game, and we came away with 6 points. The fake field goal. I'll never really understand that one. That one will never really make sense to me. 4th and long, and you're running a fake field goal where your kicker's throwing the ball to a tight end who is so unfamiliar with being a receiving target that he doesn't even know the ball's coming his way and he's blocking. Like, if you're going to do that, at that point, just leave your quarterback on the field and go for it with Demond and Coleman and Boston and that guy and those guys. I feel like that has a better chance of happening than I don't know. I don't know. That one scratching my head. I don't think Jed Fish did a great job getting the team ready for this game. I don't think that the play calling was good. And against Ohio State, you're not going to get away with it. Against lesser teams, Demond Williams can just do crazy stuff to keep the game alive, even if the play calling isn't great or the execution isn't great. There is going to be just there's going to be too much talent on the field for Ohio State's defense for you to overcome that. Now, again, defensively, I do think they played really well. I think they did a really good job not getting run all over. They actually stopped the run pretty well for the most part. I think Ohio State did some of it to themselves, though. They were very, very conservative in that first half. Until really the touchdown drive, it felt like they were just kind of feeling us out. And maybe that's what was going on. So maybe I'm taking solace in something that wasn't even really all that valuable. I don't know. But it did feel like Ohio State was playing things very carefully in that first half. And I'll also say this, Washington, they lost their best pass rusher early in the second half. They lost their left tackle early in the second half. And they felt the loss of those two guys, especially the left tackle. I think the offensive line, which was okay to start the game, really started to get beat badly in that second half. And there wasn't much of a chance for them, it felt like, at that point. Like, they couldn't get anything going. So I can give the team some get-out-of-jail-free cards on a couple accounts, I guess. But, like, I don't know. Scoring 6 points in a 60-minute game at home is never going to be okay with me. I don't care how good Ohio State's defense is. They could be playing the best defense in the country. I need a little bit more than that. So, felt like Demond had a hard time getting his footing on the turf. Felt like Demond was really just struggling to keep his feet. Coleman played well, but we couldn't get him the ball enough because we didn't have the ball often enough. And yeah, I don't know. Just a little bit of a bummer that we couldn't take advantage, because that first half, it felt like it was there for the taking. And for us to only get 3 points on the board in that first half felt like a missed opportunity. I don't know if it would have made a difference at the end there, but would have made it more interesting. And admittedly, I will say, to kind of cap it off, it did kind of feel like the fix was in at a few points. There were some real bad calls in this game. And I do think they probably affected the final score. I don't know if it affects the outcome, but there were some really bad moments in this game. We don't even get a warning on the sideline interference stuff, when you almost always get a warning on sideline interference stuff. The roughing the passer. People were losing their minds at the roughing the passer, which completely changed that drive. That drive was basically over. And then we get roughing the passer. It completely resets everything. Like, it's hard to not get very frustrated when you see stuff like that, I'll admit. But overall, I'm not going to be too discouraged. I think that this defense playing that well without Tacario Davis, I take away something from that. I do. It's just one of those things where I think they have significantly more talent than us. And there were the seeds of an upset early, and we just weren't able to deliver. And it is frustrating, but I think that this Huskies team, I think the ceiling's a little bit higher than I thought. I was thinking like 8 wins. It could be 9. I'm through the first month of the season, I'm seeing a team that could win 9 games. Could. Emphasis on could. They have to play well on the road to make that happen. But we'll see what happens, guys. All right, I'm going to go and get out of here. It was a pretty good game overall, I guess. There were elements of it that were not good. But I'm not going to be too down on it. But we got to move on. And we got to regroup. We've got an interesting game next week. Weak opponent, but we're going all the way across the country to play the game, which is not super exciting. Okay. See you guys later. Bow down to Washington. First loss of the year. Mixed thoughts, but so it goes. All right. See everybody later.